Chris, Uncle Meat, Rob Daniels, Jon Snow. Gibby's here, it's the place to go. Grab a stab of rock with Mike and the Bad Metal Man. Grab a stab of rock and hold on tight as hard as you can. T-Bone's here, it's time for a party. And Chris has got the comment started. Grab a stab of rock with Mike and the Bad Metal Man. Grab a stab of rock and hold on tight as hard as you can. Grab a stab of rock. Grab a stab of rock.
Hey, this is Gene Simmons of Kiss, and I'm here to introduce you to Jex Russell of Vinyl World. Here to introduce you to. There you go.
Bonjour mon ami, et bonjour tout le monde.
Did you just learn that for me?
No, I spent 5 years in high school doing French class, so je parle un peu de français, mais je pense que j'ai oublié la plupart de mes connaissances de la langue, malheureusement.
OK, c'est réglé. On va faire l'émission au complet en français. Ça commence maintenant.
I didn't get any of that, unfortunately.
I just said, that's it. We're doing the whole show in French. It starts now.
Oh,
All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to episode 28 of Grab a Stack of Rock, or as we're calling it, the LeBrainless episode. And Harrison, you want to explain what's going on tonight?
Well, it's like your regularly scheduled, I was about to say the Brain Train episode, no, Grab a Stack of Rock episode, except it will be LeBrainless. And as I have said a few times now, I resemble that remark. But yeah. If you remember, Jex, do you remember the old Alice Cooper Deep Cuts show that we did? Might have been LeBrain Train era. I don't think you were watching at the time, but I started the show with "Hello, hooray, let the show begin. I've been ready."
I love it.
But I think these days, yes, LeBrain is right. I think these days we start the show with something a little different.
Yes, well, now we like to start the show with a little segment we like to call Ask Harrison. So we're going to...
Hey, Harrison, how's it going? You know, there's something I've always been meaning to ask you. What's the deal with Vegemite? You guys actually eat that crap? Or is it like a lubricant for your Australian automobiles? If you do eat it, why do you eat it? How do you eat it? What does it taste like? Anyway, just one of those things I've always wanted to know. As always, good seeing you. Take care.
I'm curious.
Okay, so there were a lot of questions there, and unfortunately, a lot of them are going to be snipped short because the answer is no, I do not eat it, and it's not good enough to put on my car. My car deserves better. So it probably tastes like crap.
Have you ever had it?
No. That's why I said it'll probably taste like crap. But I have no intention of eating something of that consistency and of that appearance and of that smell. So I'm about to get deported, I think.
Well, so what exactly is Vegemite? I've heard the name. It's like a spread, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a spread. It's like this very dark brown. That's about all I know about it. It's a little chunky, and it doesn't smell great.
Okay. Oh wow. See, like that's like kind of a stereotype you hear. Like everyone in Australia eats Vegemite. It's like you hear everyone in Canada puts maple on everything. Except I can confirm that's true.
And they all say sorry.
Yeah, we're very polite. That's true. Oh, poutine. Yes. Wait a minute. How many Mike LeBrains do we have? Look, how many LeBrains are here? So for those of you who haven't guessed, Mike is with us tonight. He's just not on camera. He wanted to see what it was like to watch one of his shows live. So he recruited Harrison and myself to run the show tonight. And he's monitoring comments and queuing videos. And yeah, it's good. It's going to be fun. Maybe he'll pop in later. We don't know. So Harrison, we're doing a little, we're bringing back the Cinco de Listo tonight. Yep. That's taken it back from the LeBrain Train days. And what are we top fiving?
I was planning on top fiving my top 5 Alice Cooper albums. You might have planned something different, or you might be going along with that.
I was planning the same.
What a coincidence. I was also planning to do some show and tell. I was going to do like the same thing, 5 rounds of show and tell to coincide with the 5 list entries.
Okay, yeah,
So
that's
you'll
great.
see plenty of Alice Cooper tonight from me.
Excellent. Yeah, I got my top 5 albums. As far as rarities and stuff, I didn't get to plan. I've been pretty busy this week, so I only planned my top 5. And it's kind of hard because as far as Alice Cooper goes, there's so many I haven't heard. Like, I love what I have heard, but like there's some albums like Alice Cooper Goes to Hell I've only heard for the first time, I think last year or the year before. Like I'm playing catch up slowly, but there's some albums that have been with me for years that I love. So those are a lot of the ones. What is the drawing behind Jex? Are you this one? I don't know. I'm at my parents' house, and it looks to be like a kind of a Buddhist monk. I don't know. My mom's into that whole thing.
I can tell you that the drawing behind me is Stitch from Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, that's a lot easier. That's a lot easier.
Yep.
To
hard to mistake that one.
Yeah.
So, like you, I haven't heard a lot of the Alice Cooper albums. I haven't heard in full because I'm so partly because I'm young and there's just so many of them. Just this week, I only got over the halfway mark of Alice Cooper albums that I have on CD. I've got 15 now, and I'm missing 13. Including Road. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I'm missing more than that. I didn't count, but I'm missing a lot. And I kicked myself real quick before we get into the list. There's a record store nearby called Sunrise Records. It's like a chain.
Sunrise Records.
What is it?
Sunrise Records, perhaps.
Oh, I get it. Okay, I get it. Sunrise. I get it. That's the closing track, isn't it?
Of Love It to Death.
Love It to Death, yes. Well, that's what I was getting at. Love It to Death. They had that on CD at that store, and a few others, $5.99, like just the regular releases, not deluxe or anything. I was like, oh, that's cool, but I'll wait. I finally went back yesterday. They had all gone up $13.99. I was like, oh, they say good things happen to those who wait. Well, that was not the case.
Inflation these days, it's out of control.
Well, exactly. So anyway, shall we get into the list, Harrison?
Yes, I think it's probably about time we begin that.
It's about list o'clock. So, Mr. Producer Man, cue the theme song.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You got my fingers in a fishbowl. Cinco, the Lisco, the pentagram made crystal. Cinco, the Lisco, got my bones left in a pixel. Cinco, the Lisco, one bullet shy of a pistol. Cinco, the Lisco, Cinco, the Lisco, Cinco, the Lisco, Cinco, the Lisco.
This was my first time hearing the theme song.
It's been a while since we've played that one.
I love it. So, Harrison, why don't you take it away, my friend?
I was thinking it was best that if you do your list first, then I do my list, then I do my show and tell. That way, we've got our accompanying list entries next to each other. Because if I did list, show and tell, and then you did list, and then it comes back to me, you do your fourth, then I do my third right after.
Okay, hold on. I'm not sure I'm following.
I think I confused you there. I think you go first with your list entry, and then I'll do my bit.
Okay, I'm just doing my number 5, and then we're going on to you.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, I misunderstood. Like you wanted me to do my whole list right now.
No.
Whoa, dude.
Just make you lead the round.
All right, let me take out. I didn't get it. I rushed. I didn't get anything prepared. So my number 5. I love this era of Alice Cooper. My list is pretty all over the place because the fun thing about Alice Cooper is you have so many different eras to choose from. With a career spanning 50 years. 50? Yes. So,
close enough, if not.
What's that?
Close enough, if not.
Right, yeah. It's around the 50 mark. So I'm starting out with a little bit of an overlooked album, underrated. A lot of people don't like it. Those who like it love it. And it's from 1981. And it's Special Forces. then this is my number 5 just because I love this era. I've said it before. The blackout era of Alice Cooper that he claims to have no recollection of. I love it. I love it. And it would be so cool to hear some of these songs live, like now, but I think that's Don't Hold Your Breath.
Yeah. I think the last time we heard anything off that album was 2004-ish, where he did Who Do You Think We Are?
Okay. Yeah. That would be cool. I'd love to hear those again.
We're about due, I think.
I think so. Like some songs like Prettiest Cop on the Block, like it'll be fun to hear live, or like even Generation Landslide. Yeah, I love this. I know it's not for everyone. I know LeBrain is not a fan of this era, but
Marco's, I think, a huge fan of that album and that era, and I can also confirm that people who like that album love that album.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's all. I'm going to keep it at that. My number 5, starting strong. What do you got, Harrison?
My number 5 is similar in that it flies under the radar a lot. It's an overlooked album, but it is The Last Temptation from 1994. Yes, if I have my dates right. It's, as I said, it flies under the radar a lot. It's an overlooked album in both the live circuit and in a lot of the discography. When you're looking at it, but it's a really good album. It's got like Nothing's Free, Lost in America, Bad Place Alone, Cleansed by Fire is great ender. And then you've got some of the softer stuff like Stolen Prayer and that. Yeah. One thing about Alice, he can pull off, that's just a side view as Tim likes to do, he can pull off so many different styles just effortlessly. I mean, you hear that in his covers too. He's one of the best artists, I think, when it comes to covers.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. The thing about Alice is, he, like you said, he can do different styles and he can change his voice. Like he can do the raspy, but then he could really he could have like a nice, really soft voice. It's crazy.
Yeah, like if you listen to the version of Caught in a Dream, the studio version, and then you listen to the AstroTurf version, he's singing completely different on those, and both versions are great.
I'll have to check it out. I haven't heard. But that Stolen Prayer song, isn't that there's somebody that guest stars on that one. Isn't it Chris Cornell or
possibly? I don't know enough about it to be able to comment on that, but LeBrain will.
Yeah.
LeBrain.
I can't remember if it's those background vocals by Cornell are just like they complement each other so well. I'll have to listen to that album again. I'm not as familiar with it, but that's one I'd love to get for sure.
Yeah. So I do have a bit of show and tell from around this era as well. And so the first two, you're pretty much going to see my entire Alice Cooper collection today. But this pair of albums, not his best albums, but there's a lot of great tracks across them.
Agreed.
Snakebite just got, I think, revitalized on the live circuit.
Nice.
Feed My Frankenstein, Hey Stupid. Dangerous Tonight, another great deep cut. I would love to hear that live.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Spark in the Dark. That I think the last time we heard that was the Trash Tour.
Probably,
yeah. There's a couple of songs that you'd probably not listen to very often across these, but there's plenty of ones that you would.
Yeah, it's been a while since I listened to Hey Stupid. I've listened to Trash a little bit more, but Hey Stupid, I'm due for another re-listen. I have the CD as well. I didn't bring it here with me, but Feed My Frankenstein is classic. I don't know. I can't think of other ones, but yeah, I like that era. I like that era of Alice. So let's check in on the comments real quick because sometimes they go by so fast that I'm listening to Harrison. I can't. Okay, yeah, talking about Chris Cornell, I believe. Okay, perfect. So,
now we have seen this one before on the show before, but I spent so much to get it across the many versions I bought. So this is the Japanese version of A Fistful of Alice with the 17 songs max that you could get. So depending on where you lived, it was 3 or 4 bonus tracks. There's Bed of Nails, there's the Rarely Played Clones, there's what's the other one? $1 Billion Babies. And if you're if you're in the US, then I think No More Mr. Nice Guy or Under My Wheels is also a bonus track.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think this is my 4th version of this album that I've bought. I mean, it's a great album. So of course. Is Anyone Home made my deep cuts list.
So I'm not familiar with that one. It's like a compilation. Is it like live or?
It is a live album, but you
Okay.
wouldn't tell by looking at it because it's just called A Fistful of Alice, and there's no indication of it being live. I think my father bought it thinking it was a compilation, but it's a really good live show from 1995 or 1996 it was recorded.
Cool. Yeah, I don't reckon there's a lot of live shows from that era available. So that's probably one of the only ones officially anyway.
Yeah, you get a bunch of guests too. Slash shows up for some shows. Sammy Hagar is guests guitar on School's Out. You get Rob Zombie lending some vocals in Feed My Frankenstein.
Damn.
Yeah,
Awesome.
they filmed this as well, but there hasn't been an official release. There's just a few clips on YouTube from I think a TV special they ran. But yeah, to get this on DVD would be amazing.
Yeah. So they just like recorded it for TV, aired it, and then that was it. They never released it.
It hasn't seen an official release. It was like interspersed like clips of the show with interview footage from the era.
Okay.
But yeah, for whatever reason, it hasn't been released. And speaking of things that haven't been released about this album, allegedly he also played "Hey Stupid" as the very last song of the show, but it's not on any of the releases. Which is interesting.
I wonder why.
Not sure. And so for my last show and tell for this sort of era, I've got my Brutally Live DVD, which also comes with the CD as well in it.
Nice.
This is a good show. I love. There's actually quite a few deep cuts on here, like where is it? The Black Widow, even though it's only just the instrumental version. It's Hot Tonight from.
Does Black Widow? Oh, sorry. Does Black Widow have the Vincent Price voiceover?
I can't recall. I don't think so because it's just the instrumental part. I think they play as part of like their jam.
Okay.
But it's Hot Tonight from Lace and Whiskey, Caught in a Dream. You Drive Me Nervous as well. That I can't. Up until I think these couple of deluxes that he just released of Killer and Schools, I don't think we had a different live version of that.
No. Yeah.
And then of course, Brutal Planet. And a bunch of songs from Brutal Planet. Depending on how you feel about that album, that may be good news or bad news. But yes, that's the one with Eric Singer on drums as well for the Kiss fans. But I'll throw it over back to you again now for list entry number 4.
Alrighty. So what do we got? Oh, well, this one was brought up just now. It could be any one of those. Which one is it gonna be? Which one is it gonna be? It's gonna be Trash, my number 4, and I can guarantee we have different editions. Mine's a Canadian that looks.
Mine looks completely different.
I believe it. Yep. Oh, see, looks a lot. Oh no, not even. I thought I had that on the inner. My
disc is different. Mine's on Epic. You can see my map in the reflection.
Yeah, I got an old. This is like Epic on CBS Records.
Yeah.
But yeah. Trash. Like I said, I like this one a lot, man. Like this era of Alice, Poison, Spark in the Dark, House of Fire. Like I'm naming the songs. I'm like, yeah, these are some good ones. One song that I like that seems to just have been forgotten completely is This Maniac's in Love with You. I don't know what it is. The guitar riff, everything about that song, I love it. The title track, Trash. And I don't know. There's something sentimental. Like I actually remember seeing this image when it came out. Basically, like keep in mind I was very young. This came out in '89, so I turned 4 in late '89. So I was very young, but I have memories of this shirt scaring me. And that's all I remember. I don't know where I saw it. Might have been at a store, might have been at a friend's place. But yeah, I remember seeing this. Like, ugh. So yeah, I think it's cool, man. I think it's cool. I love it. It's not trash. It might be called trash, but it's not. It's certainly not trash.
Yes, it's always an odd choice when you name your album Trash or you name your live album A Real Dead One or something like that.
It's gutsy.
Yeah.
All right. How are we doing on comments there before we keep going?
LeBrain has, just mentioning that he wanted the shirt that Alice was wearing there.
Nice. Oh, it looks like, that makes sense. Right on.
I remember watching footage from Judas Priest Live in London show and going looking at Glenn with his he had this long sleeve Demolition shirt with it was like red sleeves and I think a black shirt. I'm like, I want that shirt.
Oh man, that's cool.
But anyway, I will get back to Alice Cooper. So for my number 4th entry, I have Welcome to My Nightmare.
No, not Welcome to My Nightmare.
Not Welcome to, just Welcome to.
Right on.
Really good album. The Black Widow, Cole Ethel, Steven. Such great songs. These are some of the deeper ones. And you have like the title track. You've got Department of Youth. You've got Escape. And then you've got some of the other ones, not filler, but they sort of like bridge between songs, like Devil's Food and Years Ago, Some Folks. Even those are great. And it's got amazing cover art. In fact, I even brought out my vinyl.
Look at that. Hey, that's the thumbnail, I think.
Yeah. In fact, you can just see a sliver of the Lego version of his face.
Yeah, true.
That I've made in the background. So we had 3 of them up there.
It's true.
I don't know what it is, but I just love this clear vinyl.
Hey, Brent. Thanks for tuning in.
Oh, amazing! The man from Helix. One of the men from Helix. If I recall correctly, I'm Australian. I don't know what it is, but I just love this clear vinyl. Maybe it's because it reminds me of Spider's Web, but.
I love that look. Yeah, it's like foggy. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah,
very cool.
So now for a bit of show and tell from this era. These are all things that I acquired recently. I have a coworker whose favorite artist is Alice Cooper, so I'm like continuously on an Alice Cooper kick, getting more and more of it. So he found me this one for $10, like in basically like new condition.
Oh,
in a used CD store somewhere, and like this does not come up often. You don't find this.
No,
even though it is.
I've never come across it. I've never had a CD copy in my hands ever.
Yeah, so when you see this for $10 in like new condition, you grab that.
Yeah.
Even though it is pretty for you, it's still, you got to have it for the collection.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually listened to that album, if I'm being perfectly honest. But I've heard it's not the greatest.
Yeah.
But you got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah. This is a Rhino reissue, actually. So I'm not sure exactly what year, because it doesn't mention it. It only mentions the year that Pretty's for You came out. But and then I got a bunch of classic Atlas albums. So School's Out and Killer. These two received deluxe treatments recently, but I've got the standard issue now. Yeah. I definitely think Killer is the better of the two, but they've both got some great songs. I love his Neil Diamond impression on Blue Turk on this one. That made my deep cuts list.
I'll have to go back and check. I don't remember.
Yeah, the horns. I love horns. And so one of my honorable mentions that I just picked up on CD is, as previously mentioned, Love It to Death.
Yes. See, that's one of the ones I passed up. That was $5.99 at Sunrise. And now it's $13.99. I kicked myself. Yeah. What's that little white box say on yours? I've never seen that.
It says, including their hit I'm 18. It might have been a sticker on the original vinyl.
That's cool, though. Yeah, I've never seen it with that hype.
Yeah, it's got I'm 18. It's got Caught in a Dream. Is It My Body? Hallowed. It's technically Hallowed Be My Name, but he pronounces it in the song Hallowed Be My Name. And Dwight Fry. Amazing song. Love the Ballad of Dwight Fry.
Right on. So just curious, is the thumb censored on your copy? On the front cover?
What am I looking for?
Do you know about the thumb? Like originally Alice Cooper's thumb is sticking out, and they edited it out in some covers because it looked like something else was sticking out of his pants.
I don't see anything sticking out. It looks like there's a bit of.
Okay, yeah, they cleaned it up.
Yeah,
there's some vinyl copies. Yeah, if you find a vinyl copy uncensored, those are worth a little bit of money. So keep an eye out for that.
I think the same goes for Bowie's Diamond Dogs album.
Oh,
I think it's Diamond Dogs. One of his albums, I think, had a censored version as well. Sorry, an uncensored version.
Really? Oh, I wasn't aware. Interesting. We're learning, folks. We learn here and Grab a Stack of Rock. Do you have any more show and tell?
Not for this round. I'll handball it back to you for round 3.
All right. And if I understood correctly, after this round, we're going to commercial. So this is our final round, folks. If you need a little bathroom break, it's coming up. So, man, we're cruising. We're cruising through. So, yeah, this is another one I just love. Oh, yes, Poison. Open up and say, oh, you're right, Mike. Yeah, I have both. I don't have a lot of duplicates in my collection, but on CD, I have both the uncensored and the censored cover because it's just such great conversation pieces. Same thing for what's the one with the tattoo? Poison, Flesh and Blood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So my number 3, we're keeping it up with, they call it the hair metal, Alice. Constrictor, 1986. It was between this one and Raise Your Fist and Yell, which is also a terrific album, but I've heard this one more. So that's kind of by default, it made my list. Some great songs on here. I love Simple Disobedience. That song, something about it, the guitar in that. And this is with Kane Roberts, I do believe. I'm drawing a blank. But The World Needs Guts.
Oh, yeah.
Teenage Frankenstein, which is the opening track here. And you have the Friday the 13th Part 6 song, He's Back, The Man Behind the Mask, which is, it's a fun song. It's not like one that I go back to, but...
I love it.
Do you? Oh, nice. Okay. Because I like it too. I've heard a lot of people be like, oh, that song is stupid with the keyboards and stuff. But yeah, I think it's kind of cool. For those keeping score, Jex 1980s, 3 albums. Harrison has 1 70s and 1 from the 90s. What's going to be his number 3? Let's find out.
Oh, that quickly. Oh yeah, that's right. You're going to me and then commercial. My number 3 is from the 80s, so I will have a 70s, 80s, and 90s, and it is Flush the Fashion.
Ooh, dude.
I love this album. I love the amped up, high energy feel to all the songs. You know, Talk Talk, Clones, Aspirin Damage, Nuclear Infected. I know Grim Facts, Model Citizen, Headlines. I know that people, you know, it's got these new wave stylings, but you know, I'm a fan of Oingo Boingo. I like the new wave stylings. I love the energy of this album. I've even come around on Pain for you watching there, LeBrain. But I'm wondering why they chose this very sleepy and uninterested looking Alice for the back cover. When I think
it fits though. It fits. I love that picture.
And then you've got
all right,
Alice there, Flush the Fashion there.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, we're on the same page there. I do like the new wave sound of that album. I call it his the Cars album by Alice Cooper.
Yeah. And so for my show and tell for this round, I've got a couple of DVDs that I acquired recently. The first one is relevant to your entry because it is The Nightmare Returns. I think the only live document to feature Kane Roberts on it. And you've got like The World Needs Guts. You've got Teenage Frankenstein. These are songs that you don't hear played very often. Yep. And you know you're in for a different type of show when you open with Welcome to My Nightmare. When it's about to go to the solo and you're expecting this like bluesier solo, and then Kane just starts this 80s shredding, and you're like, that's the type of show this is going to be. It's different to your regular Alice.
Expect the unexpected. I kicked myself, Harrison. I used to see that DVD at Walmart. Like this is back maybe 2009, 2010. I used to see it all the time. They had these a lot of concert DVDs that looked like very bootlegish. They got away with it. And that was one of them. And I'd always leave it behind. And now I kick myself because it looks like a great show.
Yeah. I only found out it existed like a couple months ago. And the moment I found out it existed, it's like, I have to get this now.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So I also did pick up Live at Montreux from the Dirty Diamonds tour. And this isn't the last we'll be hearing of Dirty Diamonds. Great set list. Got some bunch of songs from Dirty Diamonds, few other deeper ones. They even Gimme from Brutal Planet. I think that's from Brutal Planet. But Steven does not get played often in full.
No.
Last time I think was Trash Is the World, and now I think it's coming up here again. So yeah, great show. And similarly to Brutally Live, it's got the CD DVD combo. But the CDs never have all the songs. They're always because it would be a double disc if they put all the songs on it. But it's better than nothing. And then you saw this one from my my Vic part, my record CD and record fair haul. But I did also pick up Theatre of Death, which is an interesting show because a lot of the arrangements are truncated in order to fit as many songs as he plays on here. It's sort of like, almost like a medley almost of a lot of the songs. But there's some good ones on here. There's even one from Along Came a Spider. If I recall correctly, it's Vengeance Is Mine, I think it's played. Vengeance Is Mine gets played. Is It My Body? Black Widow, but that's once again it's the instrumental version.
Okay.
Stuff like From the Inside, Nose Rosetta, The Awakening gets played as well, which doesn't happen very often. Always happy to hear Cold Ethel. Guilty as well does not get played very often. I love that song.
Right. What's that? What album is that from? Guilty? Is it?
Guilty. Good question. I'm gonna guess Billion Dollar Babies.
Okay.
Because I've got the only Alice Cooper album, band albums I don't have are Muscle of Love, Billion Dollar Babies, and it might not even be Alice. Oh, yeah, I don't know what Guilty's off. LeBrain will have to tell us. I'm a disappointment. I'm going to cancel me.
Hey, I don't know either, man. So it's all good. It's all good. Lots of materials to keep track of. One time I saw Alice Helix were opening. Brand had not joined. Okay. Interesting. It's a small world, I always say. All right. Anything else for show and tell?
Not for this round. I believe we're going to commercials now.
Correct.
How come they never had me do a Pepsi commercial? Don't you think I'd do a great Pepsi commercial?
Well, I would guess that they want to have a very squeaky clean image, and the blood could be confused with Pepsi, perhaps. We don't want to, liquid, got to be separate.
But I mean, like after a hard day of slaughtering things on stage, I always get a little dry, and I like Diet Pepsi. Why Diet Pepsi? Because it tastes so good.
Hey, look, we'll send this to our sponsors. You never know. That was beautiful. You did that beautifully.
I think I did that very well.
I love that.
Great.
Bit. I love that bit. That's actually Mike uploaded that whole interview on his channel, Mike LeBrain. You can check it out. Kane Roberts is actually there with Alice, and he looks huge. He's got like no sleeves, big arms. It's like he's a monster of a man, or he was.
I think he still is quite big.
I think he is. I feel like he still is. Yeah. So number 2. So Harrison, this is the only one I actually didn't bring my copy because I only have this one on vinyl, and I'm at my parents' house, like I mentioned. I didn't feel like traveling my vinyl. The car was
kind of already. Have it. There's a 50% chance I'll have it.
Well, I know for sure. I know for a fact you have it because it was probably show and tell earlier. So if you will, please hold up a 1971 album called Killer, because that is my number 2. There it is. And actually, the first time I heard it was on CD. A buddy of mine back home, this would be back in 2006, Gino Roy. He worked in a record store, and I went to visit him, and it was Halloween, and he's like, I brought some Halloween stuff to play. He had the Misfits, he had some Danzig, and he had Alice Cooper Killer. And I said, hey, I never heard that one. And he said, here, take it, borrow it. And it blew my mind. That night, I was driving my buddy Lucas home, and
I'm just showing off the side profile like Tim does.
Yeah, I know. It's hard not to now, right? We all do the Tim thing. But yeah, I was driving my buddy Lucas home that night. We had Killer on in the car. And I'll never forget when Halo of Flies came on. Because I had just dropped him off and I was alone. It was dark. It was late at night. Halo of Flies was playing. It was trippy, man. It was like I was on a high, which I wasn't. But man, I love that song. That is like, I put that as one of my top Alice Cooper songs, Halo of Flies. It's the progressiveness of it. Like they were going for like a King Crimson type of thing, and I think it worked for the band. I would have loved more progressive songs like that. And by default, I love that album because of that one song. But the whole album is pretty good. You have a song called Dead Babies, which stirred up a lot of controversy, obviously. But you got to listen to the message, and the message was, it was like an anti-child abuse song, but calling a song Dead Babies.
Yeah, people don't listen. They just hear buzzwords and it sets neurons fire.
Well, there you go.
Benatar's Hell is for Children, I think, got the same treatment. Iron Maiden's Number of the Beast got the same treatment.
Yeah.
They just look at the title and, yeah.
But I think it's done on purpose because it gets publicity, right? Controversy gets you attention. Whether it's negative or positive, it's attention, right? And it works. It gets people, because people are going to hear like, oh, wow. I'm going to go buy that. You got the teenagers that are going to be like, there's a song called Dead Babies on here. I got to hear this, or Number of the Beast. So yeah, it's it works. That's pretty much all I have to say. I love the artwork is, I don't know, that writing that looks like it was written by like a 3-year-old. I don't know. It's like creepy, right? And the snake. I love the red cover. Yeah. So my number 2, Killer, 1971.
Snake makes a return here. No thumbs sticking out anywhere.
No. Oh, that does remind me though that I wish, like I said, I didn't bring my record. I wish I did because my record still has intact if you fold out like the gatefold. Yes, there it is. Exactly. The 1972 calendar. Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
Except mine's in color, I do believe, on the vinyl anyway.
Yeah, this whole booklet's in black and white, as is the disc print. So
Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. I love a lot of. If you find an old record, usually that's missing. But I found mine at a flea market for like $2 ages ago, and it still had the calendar. I was like, what?
amazing.
Yeah. I was lucky.
Incredibly useful too.
yeah. Hey, what day was this in '72?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Warner booklets in black and white makes sense. Indeed.
All right, so I believe it's time for my number 2 now.
Correct. And some show
Yes, now I've had a 70s, I've had an 80s, I've had a 90s, and now I'm going to have a 2000s with this one. This one, yep. This one could honestly be my number 1. It probably is my number 1, but it's not simply out of loyalty to my number 1. And it is the amazing Dirty Diamonds.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you foreshadowed that earlier. There it is.
Yeah, such a good album and such a varied album. It's got like it's actually one of the more softer Alice albums, but you don't notice because the track list is so well done. There's never like a lull period or something, and it's got plenty of rockers like Women of Mass Distraction, Dirty Diamonds, Sunset Babies, Steal That Car, Run Down the Devil. But it's also got stuff like Perfect and the cover of Pretty Ballerina and 6 Hours and Zombie Dance and the Saga of Jessie Jane. It's got this classic rock feel to it that it sort of got naturally, whereas Detroit Stories tried to force it. And I don't feel like Detroit Stories did it as well as Dirty Diamonds. The reason why mine is in one of these covers is because it's a promo copy.
Okay, I was going to ask. I'm like, that looks like a slim case.
Yeah,
okay.
It's actually. And if you pay attention to the track list, you'll know that zonally the songs are in the same place, more or less, but it's actually a different track list to the official release. I think the official release goes Women, Perfect, and then You Make Me Wanna.
Interesting.
And the release ends with like 6 Hours or something, and Your Own Worst Enemy and Run Down the Devil are earlier in the album. It's interesting that the promo had a different track list.
Yeah. Hey, that's a bit of a rarity you have there.
And if you're LeBrain, you have an even rarer version because his came with rough mixes of some of the songs. He just got an extra disc for free of like Dirty Diamonds rough mixes out of nowhere.
Jeez, some people.
Lucky bugger.
I'll be honest, I've never heard that album. That's one that kind of flew by me, so I'll have to track it down.
You have to. Really good album.
So what year are we talking here? That like 2000?
2005.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see that after we've done our bit. I think we're going to have a few minutes afterwards, Mike. You can jump on.
Yeah, because we're almost at number 1. So we haven't even reached an hour.
Don't worry, I've still got a bit of show and tell. So for my show and tell for this sort of 2000s era, I'm starting with I acquired this one recently. Along Came a Spider.
Yes.
And you may notice that this isn't in a digipack.
Yeah.
Because this isn't the original release. It's the reissue that has 3 bonus tracks that were initially, I believe, just iTunes bonus tracks. But you've got Shadow of Yourself. You've got I'll Still Be There, which is an amazing song. And you've got an acoustic version of Salvation. It's not my favorite Alice Cooper album, but there's a lot of songs on here that I do like. I don't usually go out and say, oh, I want to listen to In Touch with Your Feminine Side. But if I listen to the album, I'll like the album.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Classic LeBrain. I don't like this one, but I need it. I need it.
That is LeBrain in a nutshell. I hate this, but I want it.
I need to complete the collection.
Yeah. This is the co-worker that really likes Alice. He's only missing 2 albums on vinyl, and because they're stupidly expensive. One of them is this, Along Came a Spider, but he hates the fact that the vinyl has a different cover. It's got a cover that's similar to this disc, but it's not this same, but it's not this cover basically.
Okay.
He doesn't like that, but it's stupidly expensive. This one, and this one as well on vinyl. The other one he's missing is stupidly expensive.
Yes.
This was my other honorable mention, along with Love It to Death. This is a really fun album. Alice admittedly tries out some stylings that a lot of the fan base probably would have preferred if he didn't. But it's fun.
Yeah, and he brought back the same producer. Am I right? Bob Ezrin?
Yeah, Bob Ezrin.
Yeah, yeah. See, that's one I remember. That was in like the $5 bin at Walmart like 6 years ago, and I passed on it. Again, I'm kicking myself.
Yeah, like this was so close to being my number 5, but Last Temptation just edged it out. Now, Mike, I'm going to need your brain here because if you see, I know there was a zillion different versions of this album, but it says the bonus track, "We Got to Get Out of This Place," is what it says on the back. But that's not actually the bonus track. The bonus tracks are Under the Bed and Poison, live at Download Festival. So with your vast knowledge and probably many copies of this, can you let us know how you acquired this specific version of the album? Was it like a Walmart or a Best Buy or what? Because I know there was like many different versions with many different bonus tracks. I'm a little miffed that We Got to Get Out of This Place isn't on here, but
yeah, I didn't realize that. I have 4 copies, but I need more.
All right.
Interesting.
So while the brain presumably types that, you've seen this one before, but it is a semi-official live album from this era. It was from this tour, and you've seen the OCD wrecking disc color coding.
Right.
Basically, this one here is the disc of MP3s.
Okay.
But it's not the odd one out. These two, the rare, basically what you're seeing, the 2 left discs, as in the center one and the red one, that's the show, and then the right one is the MP3s.
Okay.
But yeah, the color coding anyway, it's annoying.
It doesn't bother me as much as it does you.
No, the brain, I remember first time I showed this up, it bothered him too. But my favorite thing about this album is that Arthur Brown comes out and guests vocals on the best live version, in my opinion, of Fire that's ever been done.
Fire by Jimi Hendrix?
No, as in, I am the god of hellfire, and
Okay.
I bring you.
Okay. Interesting.
And
I've never
now-
seen that before.
And for my last show and tell for this round, the very first Alice Cooper thing I bought, Raise the Dead, live from Wacken. This is an amazing live album. It's got everything. It's got the Hollywood Vampires mini set that he did at the time. It was Beatles Revolution, Hendrix Foxy Lady, My Generation, and Break On Through. You've also got Dirty Diamonds. You got what is it? He's Back, the Man Behind the Mask. I think that's the only live version of the song that you can get. Just
I was going to say, it's not a common one.
No, weird. Like, because I bought this album, and so this was the first one I heard. So I was like, Man Behind the Mask, Dirty Diamonds, and then I look at all these other live albums, I'm like, actually, wow, these are some rarer performances.
Yeah. Well, how are the cover? You mentioned a few covers like Break On Through. Like, what are those like?
Oh, they're great. All of them.
Really?
I love his cover of Break On Through.
Nice.
His / the Vampires. Yeah, Foxy Lady Revolution, both good. My Generation, yeah, always.
Man,
This is just like,
I'm gonna have to track that one down.
yeah. If there was ever, I think I bought this based on Mike's review of it, and if there's ever a place to start with Alice, this is one of the best. Even though you're not starting, but you get the idea.
That's awesome. Awesome.
All right, so I'm gonna throw it to you for your number 1 album now.
Oh man. Ooh, all right, man. Yeah, we're cruising through. All right. Mike doesn't remember reviewing it.
It was a gift from Aaron, a Christmas gift, I believe. He got the Blu-ray.
I love that you know more than he does. There you go. So we are approaching. We're tackling familiar territory here because this one's been mentioned tonight. You had a lot of nice things to say about it. But it's my number 1, so obviously I love it, and I'm glad that you love it as well. Watch the fashion, everything you said. Like this album, like Talk, but for me it's Clones. That song, man. I don't know what it is, the little keyboard thing. That's why I call it. It's the Cars. Like it sounds so much like the new age stuff, which I love. And Aspirin Damage is fun. Everything, Nuclear Infected, Grim Facts, Dance Yourself to Death, Headlines. It's I love this era of Alice once again. So similar to, I think it's the same thing as yours. Mine's actually a German copy because apparently I talked to Tim, and apparently at this time, because
I've got France up here.
Oh yeah, mine says France as well, but then at the bottom it's it's a whole bunch of German language. Made in Germany.
I've got made in the EU, Warner Records. No German on here.
Okay. Yeah. Apparently, like all the.
Of course, Mike's is Japanese.
Makes sense. Hey, any bonus stuff in the Japanese one, Mike? I'm curious. Probably
not.
But yeah,
Probably
that's.
not.
You said it. Everything I could say, you already said it, Harrison. This is
sorry.
Yeah, no. I'm glad you had it. What your number 3, I think.
Yes, it was my number 3.
Yeah. See these. I'm glad because not a favorite, not a fan favorite, but no bonus, but it was cheap. Okay. Yeah. I know we said before, Mike's not a fan of this era, but I know there's something about it. I find it. I don't know. It's refreshing because it's different. That's the best way I could describe it. It's different from the usual stuff. So I had to put this at my number 1. I'm new to it enough. I think I picked this up like 2 years ago, and then I got the vinyl this year. And yeah, it's I love it. I just love it. Maybe because it's new to me and it's different from his regular stuff. I don't know, but yeah. Plus the fashion.
Yeah, I remember the first time back when I was reviewing albums. Sometimes I just like almost pick it out of hat. I just think, all right, I'm going to review an Alice Cooper. Which one should I do? Dirty Diamonds was the first one that came to mind, so I do Dirty Diamonds. With Flush the Fashion, I liked Flush the Fashion so much that next time I came to review an Alice Cooper album, I didn't do random. I'm like, all right, what's the next one after Flush the Fashion?
Nice.
So for my number 1, I'm gonna lead with the show and tell, because some of my show and tell, I was going to do exactly that. There is no anticipation because everyone knows my number 1, but some of my show and tell does apply to my number 1, so I'm going to lead with the bits that don't first. So I've done a 70s, an 80s, and 90s, and a 2000s. The number 1 breaks that. It doubles up on one of those. So I'm going to show off some of the stuff from the 2010s first, even though a couple of my previous ones were. So the Paranormal album.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I have the 2 CD version.
Nice.
That only cost me like $15 for some reason, when Pink Floyd are there trying to peddle the Wish You Were Here with no bonuses for $30. In a slipcase too.
Jeez.
So the bonuses here are 2 new songs written and recorded by the original Alice Cooper band, and 6 songs from his set Columbus 2016. Now, the funny bit about this one is in $1 Billion Babies, he messes up the lyrics and he does a bit of like a scat to sort of get himself back to the chorus.
Interesting.
Which you don't usually hear Alice mess up lyrics.
Yeah, that's why he's instantly forgiven. He's like, hey, man, you're getting old. It's all good.
Yeah. And also from that album, they released The Sound of A. This is apparently an EP, not a CD single.
Okay.
But it also has 4 additional tracks from that Columbus show. The Black Widow, which is the full thing. No, it's not the full thing. It's the shortened thing again. Sorry, it was a different one I was thinking of. Yeah, you've got The Black Widow, shortened, but with vocals at least. Public Animal Number 9, a rare appearance from that School's Out tune. And then Is It My Body and Cold Ethel, which I love those songs.
Yeah.
So, and then up until... Yeah, definitely. That's why Made in Japan, in some places, has 5 tracks, and others it has 4.
Right.
Because of it has to be a certain length to be considered an EP somewhere. Yeah. In Australia, it's got all 5. That's an Australian version.
Nice.
In Japan, it only has 4.
Huh, interesting. Real quick, I'm curious. Mike left a comment down there saying his copy of Paranormal was signed. Who's it signed by, Mike? Is it signed by Alice? That would be impressive.
Oh, it was just signed by Mike himself. Okay, we'll see. He said it was signed. He didn't say it was signed.
Yeah. I'll put my name on it.
Yeah, so if it gets lost. All right, so the last piece of show and tell before my number 1 is the... So let me just find my words. It was his latest album until Road was announced, and it's Detroit Stories.
Yes.
This album's not terrible, but it's just a bit too samey for me. Like, you've heard one song, you've heard it all. There's like a lot of songs, and they're all very similar. And as I alluded to with Dirty Diamonds, it tries to capture that feeling that Dirty Diamonds just naturally did of that like classic rock from the past. It's like, I don't don't dislike the album. I enjoy the album when I listen to it, but I almost never put it on.
And that's fairly recent, isn't that like 2 years ago or last
2021.
year? 2021.
May is when it was made.
Okay.
And the only reason I bought this actually is for the DVD of Paranormal Evening at the Olympia, which is an amazingly good live album. Probably my second or third favorite of his live albums. Really good show. A lot of deep cuts. Brutal Planet shows up. Pain is great. The World Needs Guts. Woman of Mass Distraction. Halo of Flies with the full instrumental workout. Cold Ethel.
You got me sold. You said Halo of Flies. I'm sold.
Yeah. And it seems Alice has stuck with this idea of, you release an album and then for the bonus disc, you release a DVD from like one of the previous tours, because Road comes with the deluxe edition of Road comes with his Hellfest 2022 set, which among some of the deep cuts includes Steven and Roses on White Lace.
Holy crap.
Which I'm very, very eager to get a hold of.
I believe it.
And so, for my number one, if anyone's known me for a bit of time, you'll know what this is. It's been on Jex's list already. It is Special Forces.
Yes! Awesome.
I love this album. Who do you think we are? 7 and 70s. Prettiest Cop on the Block. Don't Talk Old to Me. Generation Landslide. The Very Oingo Boingo. Skeletons in the Closet. You Want It, You Got It. You Look Good in Rags. You're a Movie. Vicious Rumors. Every single song a winner.
Oh, nice, man. That's cool. That explains. You had like a little smile on your face when I showed off mine at my number 5, and now I know why.
Yeah. Now you've basically seen all my collection now, except for my copy of The Life and Crimes of Alice Cooper, and what I'm about to show off, which relates to Special Forces. So this is the crown jewel, my pride and joy of my Alice Cooper collection. The moment I found out this existed, I had to have it.
Yeah. It's so funny. I was talking to my buddy Deke last night, and he showed me, because I told him I told him my top 5, what it was going to be, and he showed me that, and I'm jealous of both of you guys.
I don't even have a vinyl player, and I still bought this because I had to have it. I couldn't wait until a CD reissue. AstroTurf took 5 years. I didn't want to wait another 2 or 3 years for this.
No, chances are they're not even going to release it on CD.
Yeah. Who do you think we are? The only officially released live version, Model Citizen, Guilty, Cold Ethel, Clones, 7 and 70s, an amazing version of Grim Facts, Pain, Generation Landslide, so many great songs on it. This is the last night of the tour. And yeah, I really need to get this stuff digitized so I can listen to it properly.
Yeah. LeBrain is saying Harrison has 3 items tonight that I want. I'm like, only 3? There's like 6 things. I'm like, I need to get this. I need to get that. I need to get this. Oh, man.
I didn't even know that there was any official live document from this tour. And then my coworker comes in and says, I was just looking at this Alice record from the 82 tour. And I'm just like, the what? Come again? Yeah. And as soon as he showed me what it was, I'm just like, I must acquire this. I only paid like 73 Australian to buy and ship it here. If I want to go into my local CD store, buy Fleetwood Mac's Rumors on vinyl, it's going to cost me like $60-something. If I want to buy Tusk, it's going to cost me $90. This cost me $73 for an RSD. Granted, it is, the blackout era. It's not everyone's favorite era of Alice.
Hey,
but still,
that's a steal.
The only thing I don't like is it is a limited edition, of course, but there's no number anywhere.
Okay. Oh, weird. Yeah, I love that era of Alice, and even like if you go on YouTube and watch some live performances of that stuff, like there was like a TV special from that era, and it's just so wild to see because he looks like he's got like the makeup on, shorter hair, and it's like a ponytail.
Yeah.
It's
I think he calls it. I think I read in The Life and Crimes he calls it either that or he calls the military outfit version Apocalypse Alice.
Yeah, there you go.
I think this version is what he calls Apocalypse Alice.
Fitting. Yeah, and at a quick glance, it looks like Michael Jackson in the early 90s, doesn't it?
Anyway, I do believe we have a Michael Ladano who is going to appear on this show. The Mad Max era. Yes, true, yeah, Road Warrior came out in 81.
It did, didn't it? Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, I say Road Warrior for our American friends. It was known as Mad Max 2 everywhere else.
The producer has appeared.
Hey, fellas. Great show tonight, guys. I was laughing the whole time. Great.
What was it like, Mike, watching Grab a Stack live?
So this was a bucket list thing for me. Harrison knows that I've been badgering him to do this for about, 2 years?
Yeah, something like that. I was only going to do it when Jex came around because I knew that he'd be able to handle the heavy lifting of having a personality.
This is the thing, is that we finally found the exact right guy that was willing to sort of, I don't know, be the LeBrain part of the pair. So, I mean, I enjoyed myself tonight, guys. That was fantastic. I love Harrison's shirt. Love Jex's shirt. Great lists. I made a tally of the lists, so they'll be on the post tomorrow. Some surprises. I was very surprised by Jex, the heavy 80s. Can't say I agreed with Jex's list very much, but I also can't say I agreed with Harrison's list very much. I will say this. I think I'm going to try to throw together my own list to add to the post tomorrow.
I'd love to hear it.
Off the fly, but you'll have to wait till tomorrow. And I will also say the 3 albums of Harrison's that I want to steal, that I'm going to heist, because I don't know, Harrison, if you saw this comment.
I did see that. Okay,
so yes. that could be a multiversal story that we end up writing. It could be
the evil Brainiac does
the evil version of T-Bone Man and Super Deeks from the evil universe. Remember, in Star Trek where they had the alternate universe, and in that one Spock has a beard. So you're gonna have to find a T-Bone Man that has a goatee.
I already have an evil version of T-Bone Man that has a beard. If you read the epic chapter in the Hall of Mirrors,
that's right. Yeah,
the evil reflection, and he's got a beard. And he's got combed hair too, because I modeled T-Bone Man off T-Bone's appearance in our music videos, and he sort of like fluffs his hair up a little, but he usually has it combed in the Ask Harrisons. So evil T-Bone Man has combed hair and a beard.
Well, okay, so Jex, you've just witnessed exactly how we write stories together. It's just exactly how.
I mean, the epic came out of, I'm lying there one night and I just think, T-Bone Man at the Psycho Circus. He's like, write that down. That's exactly how the epic started.
So do you guys want to see what I got?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you wanted to know whose autograph it was?
Yes, yeah, please. Who is that? Alice?
That looks like Alice a GB. Cooper.
Oh, Alice the top bit looked like a GB. Glenn Bucks.
You know what? I feel like total crap here. I cannot remember who gave me this. It was either Aaron or Bop. And I cannot remember, and I'm so sorry. Both guys have been so generous to me and sent me so much stuff. I'm thinking this came from Bop, but I'm not 100% certain. Now, the other thing cost me $100. That was a gift. This cost me $100. And Harrison knows what it is. We talked about this on the Deep Cuts show with Marco, which, by the way, folks, if you haven't seen it, it's fantastic.
It's one of my favorite shows.
It was a great show. I love anytime we can get Marco on. But Harrison, what number was this particular track on your list? Was it number 1 of the album?
No, number 1 was Skeletons in the Closet. Number 2 was one of them. I think number 2 was The Sharpest Pain. Right. It was number 1.
And there it is.
I can't remember. Watch the show because I can't remember.
Number 13 bonus track. I just got to get the camera to focus properly, but there it is.
The Sharpest Pain.
Yes, and it is only available on this very rare promo version of Dirty Diamonds. It didn't make the album, but it's amazing.
I can't believe we didn't even get a reissue of Dirty Diamonds like this with it on there.
So that's one of the albums of yours that I need. Is that
Temporary Visual is what it says on the Dirty Diamonds.
Interesting.
What I didn't know when I ordered this for $100 for one song. $100 for one song, Jex. Did you hear me?
It turned out to be not one song.
Yeah, it turned out not to be one song, and it turned out not to be one CD. There was a second disc, which is the Dirty Diamonds rough mixes with 3 tracks. Now, I haven't really done an intensive listen to determine what the difference is between the rough mixes and the final tracks. And to be honest with you, I don't know if I'd even be able to tell a difference.
Could just be levels.
Look at that that sentence there. Only for media doing interviews, must not be played to anyone else.
Exclusive.
How did you Spitfire Records logo? This was Discogs. I found it on Discogs. $100. I believe Harrison pointed me in the direction.
In the deep
Those are 2 of my Alice Cooper treasures. I do have other things. I have Live at the AstroTurf on vinyl, which I've never, aside from taking the record out, I've never taken that big book out because I hate trying to squish things back in. So I haven't even looked at it. I have, what else, Harrison, is special of mine? Some Japanese imports. I have the same one that you have, a Fistful.
Yeah, you've got the No
I
More
have the
Mr.
Schools
Nice
Out
Guy.
box set. I don't know if you can see it. No, you cannot. It's behind the Grab a Stack of Rock shirt. But I have the Schools Out box set, which comes in a cardboard desk. Yeah, with a hinge on it, and it's I believe
You have Life and Crimes, like I do as well.
Life and Crimes, which for a long time that was pretty common. So, but it's a beautiful box set, and it's hard to find in good condition now. A few vinyl, a few singles. I have a flexi disc of Slick Black Limousine. Is it? I think
so.
From the $1 Billion Baby sessions, and it's a yellow flexi disc. I've reviewed it on my site, Jex. You can check it out.
Okay, yeah.
And I've also showed it off before when I did a show on the LeBrain train, showing off every single 7-inch single that I have in my collection.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, that was a good show.
Cool.
But yeah, that's what I wanted to show you for Alice Cooper. Although I do have also this ancient. Oh God, it's so dusty. And unfortunately, the packaging is yellowed. But look at that.
That's cool.
This is a McFarlane.
What era is that from?
This came out in about 1995.
Oh, I meant the Alice.
Oh, I would say $1 Billion Babies with the boots.
Yeah, I can see a snake. I can see
definitely
the
early
crutch.
70s. Yeah. You know, he's got the boots. He comes with a crutch. He comes with a sword. He comes with a decapitated head.
And the hat.
Oh, and a top hat. Yes, yes. And I think there's some more things in behind there. I'm just trying to see what's behind there. It looks like a knife. I'm not sure what is behind there, or maybe it's just the backdrop. Oh, it's the guillotine.
So,
the guillotine.
Okay, I have to ask about the crutch. Was that a part of his live show at the time?
Props, yeah.
That's at 18. I think he uses the crutch.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've never seen that.
But anyway, that's my Alice, and thanks for letting me crash the party, boys.
No problem, man. Hey, thanks for stopping by.
I'm the Dave Lisney of the show today.
No,
I'm not going to repeat myself. I'm not going to repeat myself.
I got you.
A LeBrain train deep cut for the
LeBrain deep. Jex does know when he recognized the name, he got the joke.
Yeah, I got it.
I also just want to personally and publicly thank both of you guys for stepping up and doing this tonight. And like I said, this was a bucket list thing. I've been looking forward to this for 2 years to finally find the right circumstance to do this, where I get to just watch the show and watch you guys pilot the well, back then it was drive the train, but I guess now it's, I don't know, grab the rock.
Yeah.
And once again, I will repeat, great shirt, Harrison, and I dressed for the occasion as well. Funny thing is, there's a guy at work named Tim, and somebody says to me, "Hey Mike, why are you wearing a shirt for him?" And I'm like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh." And also, I just want to thank you guys also just for being great friends and great support for the last 2 months. You guys fucking rock. I love you both. Love you both. Love working with you. Love collaborating with you. And this was a great show, man. This is, of the Grab a Stack of Rock era, this is in a top 10 favorite show for me personally.
Right on. Love you too, man. Love you too.
Well, as you guys know,
great to see you, Jex.
We always like to go out on a song. You guys, Jex, you maybe you should pick.
Wow.
Thank you, Brent, for watching, by the way. Brent, I will tell you a secret. We are doing a special on Grant's Rock Warehouse in August on Helix. And Grant and Martin Popoff and Tim Derling already covered the classic Capitol Records era. So they're not doing a repeat of that. We're doing, we're doing over 60 minutes with Helix into the 2000s, and you were on a lot of those albums, such as B-sides and best of and all those things. So we are going to be talking about some of the other albums that you participated in with Helix in a lesser covered era, an era that really deserves serious attention. Like, those are some, I'm going to swear, fucking great albums there, Brent. Some of those albums that
we're past the watershed.
They are great. And,
we can't get monetized now, Mike. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're right. I can't monetize now. I wasn't gonna anyway. I don't monetize unless it's a big show, and unfortunately, I don't. I think this one's kind of niche. But anyway, Brent, cheers. Thanks for watching. Can't wait to pay tribute to Helix very, very soon on Grant's Rock Warehouse. That'll come in August. But as you guys know, we always like to go out on a song. and I'm going to let you guys choose democratically. What song do you want to hear?
So that's hard for me when you ask me because I don't know what you have in your queue. I don't know what you got.
Well, as you know, we have some T-Bone Erickson. Maybe we should narrow it down by artist. We have T-Bone Erickson, of course. We have T-Bone Erickson. We have Max the Axe.
Yes.
We have Jacob Moon, which we think we've played recently.
Yeah.
I think sorry to interrupt, but I think a thematically appropriate song would be Max the Axe's I Don't Advocate Drugs.
I Don't Advocate Drugs by Max the Axe. Now, why would that be your selection, Harrison?
Well, it's one of my favorite Max the Axe tunes.
Okay.
But also, I think that Alice, the man himself, would hold a similar sentiment.
Yes, absolutely. Although it should be stated that Alice was always a drinker. He was never really a drug guy.
True.
And but he has been clean now for
which means he doesn't advocate.
40 years. Alice has been clean, almost 40 years.
Oh.
And he's also been married to the same wife for that whole time, right from the classic Alice Cooper era to today. And it's always been a family affair. His daughter, Calico Cooper, is his, I don't know why I'm unfocused.
Yeah, I was going to say, can't see you.
Calico Cooper is his onstage dancer.
Yeah, I think she's on Brutally Live.
My camera. But anyway.
And she's part of Beasto Blanco with Chuck Garrick, too.
Blanco with Chuck Garrick, yeah.
They covered Who Do You Think We Are on one show. It's
Really?
an interesting version. Yeah. You can find it on YouTube. It's interesting. I'm just glad that they paid attention to that era. It's great to hear.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm curious now.
All right. Well, since I'm out of focus, Harrison, do you want to introduce the song?
This is a Max the Axe tune from, I don't know the exact album or year, but I think it's the mid-2000s. I think it was Mickey Straight on vocals.
I think so.
Yeah, so it's before the Meat era, but it's one of my favorite Max the Axe tunes.
We're talking about Alice.
I know. I didn't. That one actually went right. I didn't even notice it until he corrected himself.
You're forgiven.
All right. So, from Max the Axe, one of our favorite guests here on the show. I don't advocate drugs, and neither do these two guys.
Mm-hmm.
Have a great weekend, folks, and we will see you next week. I promise. Ciao.
Take care.
See ya.
This and we'll get between the sheets.